Hello there, JIMENEZ of Whiskey Lore, a friend of Laphroaig, and someone who has planted his flag in right there on his plot of land that I have GPS coordinates for marked out. I hope my flag is still there. I've heard that they are going to be making some changes to the Friend of Laphroaig program, but I mean, they only have so much real estate to give away, and there are Friends of Laphroaig all over the place. But the whiskey I'm going to be doing a tasting of today is a whiskey that was really inspired by the Friends of Laphroaig. Distillery Manager John Campbell wanted to come out and do something special for the Friends of Laphroaig, and so couldn't have done better in trying to do a cask strength PEDRO JIMENEZ whiskey, because I have seen PX Cask in travel retail, and it has taunted me every single time I've seen it in travel retail, and I have not been able to buy it because of my carry-on situation. And so when I saw that Cairdeas was going to be PEDRO JIMENEZ this time, I said, all right, I'm all over it. I'm going to go buy myself a bottle. I hope this is good. And so I'm going to do a tasting on this particular whiskey. Came out in 2021. This is actually a whiskey that has gone through 3 stages. It went through a first fill American bourbon barrel, then it went to a quarter cask, second fill American bourbon barrel, and then the third place it went was into a PX cask. Not sure on how long it spent in each one, but if you listen to my interview with John Campbell, which is here on YouTube, but also is available through Whiskey Lore, the interviews on your favorite podcast app, you're going to hear us talk through half of the episode about Laphroaig and his time at Laphroaig, and talking a little bit about, how he aged these whiskeys and what his favorite age on a Laphroaig was, which might surprise you, in that he suggested that 8-year was a great point in Laphroaig's life for making whiskey, and that's why he used the 8-year to do these Cairdeas releases. So lots of great information in there, and I'm so glad I got a chance to interview him. I thought I was going to be interviewing him at Laphroaig. He's now at Loch Lee, which is a lowland distillery. I'll pull out my Scotland map actually and show you that he went from here on Islay to Ayrshire, which is right below Glasgow and over in this particular area. Actually, a very fascinating story too, because they're distilling whiskey and using the grain farm to glass from a farm that Robert Burns, the Scottish poet, had worked for some time. So fascinating story there, and one we get into in the second half of that interview. But going to be doing a tasting on Cairdeas because I've waited to taste this and nose this and to share this with you. And PX Cask tends to give you a little bit more of the bright fruit notes, but I am pulling a plum note out of this, along with what you would expect out of a Laphroaig cask strength. You're getting that kind of seaside note there with a little bacon, a little seaweed kind of a nose to it. Not overly medicinal, just nice, warm, meaty kind of a smell. It's just really, really, to the Laphroaig fan like me, it's just a comfort when you smell that. And the fruit notes just kind of complement it slightly in the background. It's not overly aggressive. Cheers. What I love about this whiskey is it teases you. For a moment there, you almost think you're going to be drinking a Glendronach. And then all of a sudden it's like, hello, I am Laphroaig, and there's no doubt. The fruit hits you first on the palate, a lot of dark berry notes coming in there. And then it just, a bacon note comes in, little oak character, not much. I love that John Campbell told me that, you know, he doesn't want to have a whiskey that tastes like you're licking a table, because I'm not a huge oak fan. And so it is really a nice balance, but it just finishes up with that bacony, seaweed, slightly briny, smoky character that you expect out of a Laphroaig. And so, in a way, what's really cool about this is that when you taste the regular cask strength Laphroaig, I mean, it sometimes it's like tasting turf. I mean, it is just so earthy. And the PX cask adds a little berry note in there, and it actually tames down that earthiness a little bit, and it gives you just a very interesting blend. If you are a Laphroaig fan and you're saying, I don't really want it interrupted by a berry note, I'm telling you that except for that one moment in the middle where that blackberry kind of really takes over, it then subsides and you get a face full of Laphroaig at the end. So really nice whiskey, and something that, you know, I went into this thing worried because I'm like, I have really blown this up in my mind, and I'm a little nervous that it's not going to live up to expectation, but that is a fine whiskey. I really do enjoy that one. So very good, very good. And if you enjoyed this episode, learned something from it, give me a like. And if you want to leave a comment below, have you had this? Have you had PX Cask? Tell me your thoughts on PX Cask, because I really like to know what that whiskey is like, because it has taunted me for so long, and now I'm happy that I actually get a chance to taste the Cairdeas series and enjoy a PX Cask version of that. Until next time, cheers and Slainte. For almost being 120 proof, I don't want to add water to this. It is so good, just the way it is. A little cocoa note coming in there as well.